The first stop of the Swimming World Cup in Shanghai just concluded, and during that stop we had a ton of fast swimming all across the board. We saw national and continental records set throughout all 3 days of competition constantly, as well as looks at some star swimmers like Leon Marchand, Kate Douglas, Thomas Ceccon, and Regan Smith, and I could go on and on and on. But there's one swimmer in particular that I want to talk about, the swimmer that set the one single world record that we saw amongst a sea of other records. I want to talk about Ponti. We saw Ponti in action in 4 different events in Shanghai, in the 100 fly, the 100 IM, the 200 IM, and the 50 fly. He kicked things off in the 100 fly, as he touched first by a pretty dominant amount over Niels Korstanja, as the only swimmer to break 49 seconds with a 48.40, a new World Cup record. While that time might look a little far away from the world record of 47.78 held by Caleb Dressel, it's actually the 3rd fastest swim in history, undercutting his previous personal best by 7/100ths that he set at the 2023 European Short Course Championships. After that, we saw him once more in an absolute battle with Leon Marchand in the 100 IM. Ponti was out a touch quicker than Marchand to the first 25 on the butterfly, but then he extended that lead in a hurry during the backstroke. Marchand would then close on Ponti during the breaststroke, but he stayed fast enough to still keep it very close. On the final 25, Ponti charged at Marchand and actually had the fastest freestyle split out of anyone, but he ran out of room as Marchand finished first by 1/100th. The next day, Ponti continued to contest the IM events, this time in the 200 IM. Unsurprisingly, he took the lead after the butterfly, but after that, Marchand took the lead and he held it from there. A little while later, Duncan Scott would also go by Ponti, as Ponti would go on to finish 3rd in the race, with a sizable lead over 4th place and a new personal best in the event. In the prelims of the final day of competition, Ponti got things to a roaring start with a new world record in the 50 butterfly. He blasted a 21.67 to break the former standard of 21.75. He also called his shot for a world record the night before in a DM conversation with Duncan Scott. Later on in the day, in the final of the event, Ponti would almost break his world record for a second time, as he finished first in a 21.68, just 1/100th behind his own world record. That was a rock solid ending to a very good meet for Ponti, as he proved he is going to continue to be a consistent threat in short course meters. After this stop, Ponti sits in 2nd in the overall World Cup rankings. If you're unfamiliar with how these points work, let me give you the basics. A swimmer is scored based off of their 3 best swims at any given series, and each swim carries with it 2 different point totals. The first point total is about what you'd expect, which is just based off of placement. The second score is based off of World Aquatics Aqua points, with 1,000 points being the current world record, and then the points going down from there as you get further away from that mark. Your Aqua points determine your World Cup points based off of this table, and then the 2 scores are added together for your 3 best events, and that's that. Ponti has had a lot of success in short course meters before, competing at short course Euros and short course Worlds, and walking away with some hardware. Ponti's experience in short course makes it all the more impressive that he managed to go 4 for 4 in personal bests at this meet, especially in the butterflies where he was already in the top 10 performers of all time. Across the 4 events that he contested in Shanghai, Ponti is the 3rd fastest performer in the 100 fly, the 5th fastest performer in the 100 IM, the 20th fastest performer in the 200 IM, and of course, the world record holder in the 50 fly. The thing that stood out the most to me watching Ponti swim was just how good his underwaters were. Underwaters are obviously an incredibly important part of short course swimming, and watching him match pace with Marchand during that phase was incredibly fun to watch. It's obvious that Ponti has the skills he needs to succeed in short course meters, which makes the prospect of watching him race at the next 2 World Cup stops incredibly exciting. Which swimmer from the Shanghai World Cup stop impressed you the most, and who are you most excited to see race this weekend? Let me know down below.